Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James Nelson the Brink, and today I want to talk about some answers to questions that you had a couple of days ago. So I posted a video where I just wanted to know if there's any questions you had about the Steam Deck or whatever it is. Mostly a Steam Deck, it looks like, and some PC gaming, some other gaming pieces in there. But yeah, and I've gathered some answers. This is going to be probably a 2, maybe 3-part video, as I got a lot of questions and I have a lot of answers, I guess. So some answers are not going to be overly satisfactory because there's just not an answer quite yet, or we have to wait for an answer. But in this video, most of this can be answered. It's just sometimes it might be a waiting game. So let's get into it real quick. Okay, first person up. I have a question about Steam Deck. Can it run Manjaro? And Gilk Kesking responded to this question with a pretty good answer, and it's about what I could find myself. Not yet. The Deck's kernel drivers should be in the 5.18 release. So, and he further explains that it's up to the maintainers to get those drivers for the Steam Deck into that release. And so there's a good chance it will be in 5.18, but we'll just have to see. So the next release, whenever that's going to happen, should have that for the Manjaro flavor of Linux. So there you go. Here's to hoping. So it looks like a pretty sick version of Linux. So I haven't used it yet, but once those drivers come out, I'll give it a try. Okay, next question. How well does something like Anchor portable power bricks, those portable power devices, charge the deck, and can you play and charge at the same time? And yes, as long as you have a power bank that is rated at the same or higher wattage that's needed to charge, once you hit that 45 watts that the Steam Deck requires through USB Type-C, then yes, you can play and also charge your device at the same time. Just got to make sure. I'll drop a link in the description below with an option for you, because yeah, 45 isn't that hard to get in a power bank. Actually, you can get a little pricey up into the hundreds, but you might want to even go a little higher, maybe into the 60 watts. Yeah, anything that's above 45 watts will do great. 45 or above, that is. That's what it's rated at. If you want to charge your phone or anything else with it, with the extra USB slots that usually come with the power bank, then you might want to get a little bit higher, obviously, or charge your controller. There's a lot of different things, and it's really nice to get like a really solid power bank for on the go. So yes, the answer is yes, you can. Okay, next question. And this person asked 2 questions, so I'm going to answer them one after the other. These questions are for people who are maybe new to PC gaming. What are the best games to play on the Steam Deck? If someone who mainly or strictly plays console games only and is looking at getting a Steam Deck and never played on a PC before, what should we get? What should we play? This is a complicated one because it really comes down to what your preferences are. Do you like shooters? Do you like third-person adventure games like Witcher? There's so many games, and that's the beautiful thing about coming to the Steam Deck and Steam, is that you have a ton of options. Yes, you have a lot of options on the other consoles, to be honest. Most games come out for most systems, but there are a few that maybe just aren't as good on the console, or just that you might be missing. That I'll hit some of those, but for the most part, most of the games on here you can actually find on a console in some way or another. I want to compile a good list to start on. If you have a more specific question where, I like this type of game, what can I play on the Steam Deck that you can't normally play on the console, then I'll answer that question in another video. But these are good ones, I think, to get started on the Steam Deck. Witcher 3, third person, you get the joystick, you got those controllers that work really well with Witcher 3. I love playing Witcher 3 with the controller. It's not my favorite game, but it's definitely one of my favorite games to play on the go. Deep Rock, for a fun co-op game, that is just a fun game altogether. You're a dwarf having to mine gold, whatever type of material, and you get attacked by aliens, and you have to survive in an up to 4-person co-op style. And I don't know if that one's for the consoles yet. I don't think it is. and that's a really fun one that would be really good to go. And it's not too competitive, so if you, because like with those controls, you're not going to typically do as well. Maybe with the touch pads, you'll do pretty good in a shooter style, but with the regular analog controllers and sticks, you're just not going to do as well as a mouse and keyboard. So something too competitive could be a little frustrating, maybe. But Deep Rock definitely recommend. It's really fun. Counter-Strike for some online fun, I recommend that. Like if you haven't played Counter-Strike before, it's pretty big on the computer. It is online, so you might struggle against some people with mouse and keyboard, but I think it's worth picking up and trying. At the very least, you could play against bots. And I believe it's free. To get into some other maps, into some other parts of the game, you have to pay, but I think the base game is free. The Forest or 7 Days to Die. And I also have to preface, most of the games on this are controller supported. There's only two that aren't, like, they're partial controller supported, The Forest and Half-Life, which I'll get to soon. And I've played these with the controller. They worked fine for me, so that's why I kept them on the list. The Forest is just an awesome game, and same with 7 Days. They're different, but it's still the same. One, you got like mutants that are naked that might as well be zombies, and another one you got zombies. So, and they're sandbox survival, meaning you can build your world, you can build your base, and just essentially survive, or in the Forest you can finish the game. So there's a lot that you can do on the go, and the suspend mode for this type of game would be amazing. So I'm also taking into account like games like Witcher 3 and The Forest 7 Days. They'll work great with the Steam Deck as you have suspend mode, and that's gonna be awesome, right? So next up, Half-Life. Any Half-Life. So if you're coming from the consoles, yes, there are Half-Lives for the consoles, but if you've missed those, I definitely recommend playing them on the deck. Half-Life 2, like I said, is partial controller support, but I've played it. Works pretty good in my opinion. And I believe Black Mesa, which is a remake of the original, would be a good one to start at. And I believe that one is also controller supported. If you're coming from the Xbox, God of War is a great option. I definitely recommend it. It works great with a controller, and it's one of the I believe it was one of the recommended in the beginning for the reviewers to play. Question 2, for non-PC gamers with the Steam Deck, and that's from the same person. Will the Steam Deck be easy to play games right away, and is trying to optimize going to be straightforward? Okay, so yes, it's going to be fairly straightforward, I believe. If you're coming from console, the deck boots right into a Steam experience where it's just going to be like your console. You're going to be able to select different games, go to the store, buy things, invite friends, talk to friends. There's a lot you can do, and to be honest, I don't think most people are going to have a big issue. I know I've seen some reviewers say it's more complicated. I've also seen some other reviewers say it's a much better experience for a console-like experience. It really depends. It is a little bit more complicated, and I can't really say. It just depends on how simple of a system you need. But I really think it will be pretty easy for most people to get into it and play. It's not like you're booting into a desktop like on a PC and having to go into Steam or anything like that. You're literally in an interface that's ready to play games once you get your deck set up. So, and the deck setup part is still in the Steam experience. So once you boot it up for the first time, you have to do the whole login and all that, just like with any console. So with that, optimizing, that's a little bit different. Most games should, especially if they're verified, should install with the default settings. That should work fine. Optimizing might get a little bit more difficult, but there's a lot of people that have done it. There's a lot of ways to just see, and I'll do a video on it one day on how to optimize games for what you want, because you can get better visuals, better battery life, and just better performance. So there's the 3 different camps that people will set in, typically, maybe even 4 with a balance. But really, it's the next step, but you don't need to know it unless you really want to. And that's the beautiful thing. If you want to do it, then you can. If you don't want to, you can stick with the defaults. Okay. Next question is, Steam Deck, how loud does the fan get under heavy loads? And I'm going to include a video here in the description on just how loud it is. And I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people say it's a whine that's kind of annoying, And then I've heard other reviewers say that it's not too bad, to be honest. It's not much different than some other handhelds they've used. Watch the video. You might need headphones. It is kind of quiet. I don't know if that was under like a lot of strain, but my guess is to maybe there are different manufacturers for the fan that can make a difference. Quality of fan can cause more whine and a different sound depending what kind of fan it is and company, brand, all that. So yeah, it is a hard one to say, especially since I haven't held one, but I do have a video that you can watch. And then the final question is, my Steam Deck reservation is after Q3, and the only thing I can play games on is a laptop that can pretty much only run Minecraft and Rocket League. And sometimes I can use Relative's gaming PC, but not too often. I'm thinking of getting either a gaming PC, gaming laptop, or an Xbox so I don't have to wait. What do you think is the best option for me? My budget is around $800. I love how detailed this question is. And in the future, if you do more questions, make them as detailed as possible. I'll give you a better answer. So it really comes down to, do you want to invest in the PC ecosystem or do you want to diversify? The Xbox probably won't have a lot of exclusives that won't be on PC, which is the beautiful thing. That's why I'm loving Microsoft for that right now. That you can get Halos on the PC and all that. So ultimately, do you want an Xbox? It's probably going to do the same thing as your PC and your Steam Deck. That being said, if you get the newer Xbox Series S or X, it will look a little better. It will run a little bit better. It really does come down to also, can you find the parts for the PC? My recommendation is I looked into it. The video card for this PC setup that I'm going to include in the description below from a website that has best gaming PC under $800 has a pretty good spec sheet. It will play the games that you're going to want. Is it going to blow everything else out of the water? No, but it does a good job. The AMD 6500 XT that was in that, I did find it on Amazon for about $250. And so yes, it's available. It's not for exorbitant prices. Like, it's not like crazy. So there's a good chance you could build a PC, mid-range PC with that. And so I would recommend going the PC building route for just investing in the ecosystem. You can have a mouse keyboard for it, which you could later on use for the Steam Deck if you want, or you can remote play from your Steam account on your main PC to your Steam Deck, because this will still be more powerful than your Steam Deck, and play wherever you want from your main PC. And then you have options too. If it's motherboard's new enough, you can upgrade the CPU, the GPU as you go, as you get into this ecosystem. That's the beautiful thing. You have to pay a little bit more upfront, but it is a long-term investment that you can upgrade later on down the road and use with your Steam Deck. It's a cool little synergy that goes on where you can PC game on the go or PC game at home, and you have your two options. My recommendation, and you can just do so much more. It's a PC. You can do much more with it. So I'm always going to recommend the PC route if you have the budget for it. But really, if you don't, Xbox is not a bad option if you want something to play on the TV. So there you go. Those are the answers to the questions. If you don't think I did a good enough job, then answer the question yourself in the comments below. Let me know if you have any more questions, and I'll, I guess, add them to the list and make this a really long video session. But thank you guys for asking these questions. They've been fun to answer. And sorry I got to it a little. I wanted to get it done the day after, but it's a lot of questions, and we're going to continue answering these throughout the next week. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check out the Discord channel in the description below, or our website, or just anything. Go buy a t-shirt, support the channel. Makes it a little bit easier for me to buy other products to review and just talk about on this channel. So thank you guys for watching. Watch my other videos and catch you guys next time. Peace out. Later.